I have loved him for as long as I can remember. Yet in all these years I have never found the courage to say it out loud. John, his name is like poetry to my heart. A soft whisper of love that lingers in my every breath. He is the most beautiful thing that has ever happened to me, and yet he doesn't know it. Or perhaps he does, but like me, he is too afraid to admit it. John and I have been best friends since college. We met in the most unexpected way. Two strangers seeking solace in the corner of a library, finding comfort in silence. I still remember the first time I saw him. He had his nose buried in a book, his fingers gently brushing against the pages as if they held the secrets of the universe. And maybe they did, for he was my universe from that very moment. Over the years we became inseparable. We laughed together, shared dreams, and cried over heartbreaks that were never ours to begin with. Through every season of our lives, we found refuge in each other, yet neither of us dared to cross the fragile line between friendship and love. There were times when our gazes lingered longer than they should have, when our hands brushed and sent shivers down my spine. In those stolen moments I saw the love I was too afraid to confess. I have tried to move on, convinced myself that what I felt was fleeting, but love is not something you can bury. It grows even in silence, in unspoken words, in stolen glances, and in the ache of knowing that he is near yet so far. I see it in the way he looks at me, sometimes as if he too is holding back. But fear is the cruelest of all emotions. It binds us, suffocates us, and keeps us from the happiness we deserve. I remember one evening when we sat by the lake, the sunset painting the sky with hues of gold and crimson. John rested his head on my shoulder, and I could hear the rhythm of his breathing, so steady, so peaceful. My heart screamed for me to speak, to tell him that he was the love of my life, the dream I never wanted to wake up from. But I remained silent, and so did he. Perhaps he was waiting for me to say it first. Or maybe he was just as scared as I was. Either way, that moment passed like all the others, filled with love ye tea void of words. Every night I would lie awake and wonder what could have been if I had just told him the truth. I imagined a life where we were together, where we could wake up next to each other, very morning, where he would smile at me and just know that he was my everything. But dreams are cruel. They remind you of what you can never have. And so I buried my love beneath layers of friendship, pretending that it was enough, even though it never was. Time is cruel. It does not wait for those who hesitate. The years passed, and so did the opportunities to tell him how I felt. And now, as I sit here, staring at the wedding invitation in my trembling hands, I realize that I have lost him, not to time, not to fate, but to my own cowardice. He is getting married, not to me, but to someone else. Someone who had the courage to give him what I never could certainty. I should be happy for him, I tell myself. He deserves love, happiness, a life filled with warmth and security. But the pain is unbearable. I feel as though my heart is being torn apart, piece by piece, with every beat that reminds me of what I lost. I wonder if he is truly happy, or if somewhere deep inside his heart there is a quiet ache, an unanswered question that lingers just as it does in mine. Regret is a heavy burden, one that I will carry for the rest of my life. But if there is one thing I know, it is that I will love him until my last breath. John may never know the depth of my love, but I will whisper it to the stars, hoping that somewhere in another lifetime we will find each other again. And maybe then I will not be afraid to love him the way he deserved all along. John, you will always be the love of my heart. Even if you never hear me say it, even if you never know, my love for you will remain eternal, unchanging, and as deep as the ocean itself.